everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to some Twisted Cryptids, the Ness is More expansion. So I have a little picture from my phone here because I don't have the actual box. Because if you've watched the other videos for Twisted Cryptids, I have the full Kickstarter crowdfunding version of the game, which all of the base game and the Ness is More expansion came in one box. So go back, check out the first one if you want to see what's on the base game. Check out the second video. Check out the first one if you want to see what the rules are for the game. Assuming at this point, if you're checking out the expansion, if you watch one of those two, you have an idea of what the game is. So let's go ahead and hop into some of the stuff. So first of all, I'll look at is our two meeples. We have Nessie and Chupacabra. So these are two brand new cryptids we get in this game. We will have their tokens in there. You will get 6 of the myth tokens as well. All of the human tokens and all the other stuff are available only in the core set. And I did mention in the video 2 going over the base stuff, all the different stuff in there, is that the boxes are smaller. So each box, the core box and the S expansion and the future expansions are only going to hold the stuff for that game. The exclusive one holds the first expansion, but does not have room for the other 2 expansions. So you'll have to figure out different storage for all of them at some point. Alright, let's go ahead and hop into our characters. Now, I did also mention, at least per my set, the crowdfunding one, the Kickstarter, they did not have different expansion symbols from this to the other one. Although the other expansions will have their own symbols. So these guys might have the same exact symbol as the core set. So once you mix them together, it might be very hard to unmix all this stuff. Alright, but you can freely use any of the different characters here and there. So we start with Nessie, who has Breach. Strong Lure, 1 human, and draw 1 card. So I love their overall their big card abilities are all very different from each other. So that's very fun. Now let's go ahead and look at her sighting cards. So we have her Silhouette, which is Suspicious Driftwood. So like all these, you're going to get like a plus per 1 for the Silhouettes or research. Hoaxes are for hikers, and decoys are for hunters. Then -1 for one, -1 for the other for each card. The bottom abilities, I believe, are going to be the same for each different character. I'm assuming these follow the same as the base set, where each one of these abilities is the same for all except for the last card. But I'm going to double check that to make sure. Yeah, so we have on the Silhouette cards, we have 1 Lure, a Researcher, and 1 Attract. So I think it's going to be the same idea here. Alright, so another one is a Thorny Bend. So this one will lure researchers. Then for our hoaxes, we have an Honest Miss Snake, which lures a hiker. And then Hungry Herons, which stares a hiker. And then for our decoy, we have Dino Slide, which lures a hiker, and Swan Lake Boat, which stares a hunter. Yeah, okay. I was just saying, yeah, I think they're all the same. I think then what happens is then for the 3 real deals, we have their sleepy ones. You have Lazy River. So during the night, you may only draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. So this same effect for all the sleepy ones. And then we have their attacking one, Locked and Loaded. During the next day, you may not use your cryptid powers. And these all give +2 to each one. So one's for hunter, one's for researcher, one's for hiker, but -1 on each of the others. And then the last one's kind of their special ability. It says Found Family. So some frogs and some duckies there. It says during the next day, you must pass your first turn. So it's kind of the hindrance for each one. But the last one gives them a little bit different hindrance. So it's kind of a fun little mechanic as well. Makes each one a little bit different. Awesome. Let's look at our next character. We have the Chupacabra. Oh, a big stare to humans. So you just stare some guys away from 2 spaces away. So what is the Chupacabra? For our silhouettes, we have Fern. Attract 1 researcher to the site of the encounter. The bushes have eyes. For our hoaxes, we have Definitely Not Rabies. Yeah, he's just chewing on some cotton. No Touchy. There's another llamas. Throwbacks to some of the other games. Spiky Boy. Then non-plushed for our decoy, and then for our real deals we have Puppered Out. It says the 3 cards in your hand. We have Hungry for Blood. May not use your Cryptid power, and then the last one is Bon Appetit. During the next day, you may not extract hunters. So very cool. Yeah, those are fun little extra bonuses for all the different cards. They're a little bit different. Then we have the lenticular oversized cards. These, again, I think were part of the crowdfunding Kickstarter exclusive. Kind of neat to show the regular card and then the hidden shadow version of them. So these might not, I don't know if these are going to come in the every box or not, but they're fun to have if you get them. Awesome. So the next thing we want to do is we have events. So we have 6 new event cards, 2 for each color. So I'm going to guess these are going to be probably very similar to the previous ones, where each one of the color is going to have a bonus for that character to be more beneficial for the first one. So the orange ones are for hunter, blue ones will be for researchers, green will be for hikers. And then the abilities will kind of be, the bottom 2 abilities will be the same for each different card, just with different colors replaced, but the top one's a little bit different. So for hunters, we have Bounty Hunter. In player order, each player must move 1 hunter from the site with the most hunters to an adjacent site. So then could cause that to have the one with the most hunters. Interesting. For researchers, extract 1 researcher from the site with the most researchers, and for hikers, extract 2 hikers to the site with the fewest humans. The others we have high vantage point. Move 2 hunters from the site with the most hunters to the site with the fewest hiding spots. So these guys' hunters are kind of looking around for stuff that's not there yet. That's kind of fun. So they're like the previous hunters were always trying to get to the hiding spots, are kind of there. These guys are kind of spacing out a little bit more. Then we have extract 1 hiker from the site with the most hikers, or extract 2 researchers from the site with the most hikers. That's kind of a fun ability there too, right? So this is now putting these other guys, they're moving to spots with hikers. That's kind of a cool idea. Oh look, a generic bird name. In player order, each player must move 1 hiker from the site with the most hikers to an adjacent site. This is, again, use the same thing like using the hikers to move around. Extract a hunter from the site with the most hunters, or extract 2 researchers to the site with the fewest humans. So again, kind of repeating the same effect. The middle one wants the, whatever that group is, to go where there's the most guys, or take them away from the most guys, and the bottom one is going to have guys move, come into game with the fewest places. Their other one is the perfect trail. Move 2 hikers from the site with the most hikers to the site where an encounter last occurred. Then extract 1 researcher from the site with the most researchers, and attract 2 hunters to the site with the most researchers. This is going to bring guys into where researchers are. Then for the researchers, we get Droning Scout. In player order, each player must move 1 researcher from the site with the most researchers to an adjacent site. Extract a hiker with the most hikers, and attract 2 hunters to the site with the fewest humans. And then the last one is investigative journalism. Move 2 researchers from the site with the most researchers towards the site with the most humans. Usually they want to move away from humans. It's kind of just opposite of what they typically do. Extract 1 hunter from the site with the most hunters, and extract 2 hikers to the site with the most hunters. So very cool. So these are very extra different ways to play from the base game. Just add some extra stuff, and then they just get shuffled in. And you draw one of these at the beginning of each of the 5 rounds. So adding 6 new of these means you're not going to see every one of these every game to begin with. Adding more from different expansions just means there's more of a variety that you are or aren't going to see. So you definitely mean you could play more games without having to see all the cards. It's very cool. Then we have our Twisted Cryptids action cards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. We have 21 of these. Now, these are going to add some new abilities in there. So now we have the AND keyword. So the original ones were, from the base game, had just stuff that happened, or they had an or. You could pick which one to do. These have AND, so they're going to make the game a little bit I don't know if it's better or worse. Depends on what you're hoping happens, because before you might have the option, which might give you an advantage on what you want to do. Here it might be like, great, I love to go attract a guy, but I don't need the other one. So it could be a good and bad thing depending on what's happening. But says attract one hunter and attract one researcher. We have attract a hiker and attract a hunter, attract a researcher and attract a hunter. And then we have 2 copies of attract one researcher and extract one human. 2 attract one hunter and extract one human. And 2 copies of extract one hunter, attract one hunter, and extract one human. Alright, then we're going to get a lure a hiker, lure a hunter, lure a hunter, lure a researcher, lure a researcher, lure a hiker. And then we kind of have the opposite of that, or a little similar to that. We have extract a researcher, but lure a hiker, extract a hunter, lure a researcher, extract a hiker, and lure a researcher. And then we have stare to researchers, lure a hiker, lure one hiker, or hunter, stare to researchers, stare to hunters, lure one researcher, lure one hiker, stare to hunters, lure one researcher, stare to hikers, and stare to hikers and lure a hunter. So basically these last bunch are either going to have staring 2 things and luring one, or just a each different type. Yes, we have 2 stare hikers, but we have a research or a lure for each one. We have 2 stare hunters with a lure for each one, and we have 2 stare researchers with a lure for each one. Yeah, so definitely some extra new different cards you can get. Now these, granted, you're going to be able to draw back up to 5 every turn, so you're going to be seeing a lot more of these. So adding more of these different cards just adds more of a variety of what you can do. Having more effects, so now you're having more things happen. So instead of having a one thing happening or an or thing happening, it's still one. Now you have multiple things happening. And again, they're not doing anything too crazy, like they could, like the event cards are, where they're spreading them all around the board or doing things like that. So, yeah, very cool. Alright, then we have 4 brand new hidden traits to play with. So we're going to get, you are friendly. End the game with as many humans as possible on sites you have hiding spots. So again, this is kind of a fun little idea, because the other ones are all about, from the base game, were all about how many sighting cards you had revealed or not revealed. So this gives you a different way to play the game. So instead of having to, you don't care about your sightings or not, either way, you want to just attract more guys. We have you are energetic, end the game with as many hikers on as possible sites as you have hiding spots. You are scholarly, end the game with as many researchers as possible on sites you have hiding spots. And you're reckless, with as many hunters. Now, of course, the big thing is going to be the more hiding spots you have left available at the end of the game, the more chance you have to have higher numbers. But yeah, these got some different stuff. And I like the same amount for either one. This one gets a little bit lower, but you also have to have higher numbers of everybody. Yeah, that's a fun, just different little way. As a reminder, in the Kickstarter one, they did have the blank one because you create your own. So it's also just an idea. You can write down your own on a little piece of paper or something. So that could be very fun as well. That is what we have for this video. It's a little small expansion. We also do have the Yeti or Not expansion that is coming out later this year, hopefully. We'll still get maybe beginning of next year, depending on when it gets shipped. Which I guess is going to be very similar to this. It's going to be 2 Yeti and one other new character. Let me see. The Death Worm. It'll be the Yeti and the Death Worm. And I'm going to just be very much the same thing. You'll probably get a handful of new of each type of cards, plus there are things I don't know if it's going to add anything directly new to it. I can't say for sure. Then we also have the Cryptid Culture expansion we're going to do a video for, which will have 2 more different cryptids in it, but that has actually some new game mechanics in it, so that'd be really fun as well. Then we have the mini expansion videos you can check out. See you guys in the other videos. Bye!